if you will be able to present strong evidence, therefore you will be able to get a favorable public opinion.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from the House prosecutors? If none, we will recognize Jonathan Andal from GMA 7. You may proceed.
Good afternoon po. Congressman Keith Flores, lahat po ng kasama nyo rito bumoto ng yes sa impeachment. Kayo lang po yung nag-abstain. Pero kayo po ay public prosecutor ngayon. Pwede po malaman ang dahilan, ano po ang reason, bakit kayo nag-abstain at bakit nyo rin po tinanggap na maging public prosecutor?
Well, being prosecutor is the collective wisdom of the members of Congress. No? So I was nominated and elected, and after that, I took on the role as public prosecutor.
Ano po yung reason, sir, kung bakit kayo nag-abstain? Pwede po malaman.
Well, there were personal and political reasons for abstaining, but it wasn't about the articles of impeachment.
Thank you, sir. Last question na. Ma'am, can you walk us through sa magiging sa proseso ng pre-trial stage? Ano ang mga mangyayari doon? Gaano katagal ang aabutin ito bago tumungo sa mismong trial?
Well, by pre-trial, what I can share with you is my experience in the ordinary criminal case, no? There will be stipulation of facts, there will be submission of the name of the witnesses, and submission of the documents to be presented. But we have to know yet as to what will be the rules of the impeachment court with respect to the conduct of the pre-trial. I hope that we will be given the opportunity as well to participate in coming up with these rules, which will govern the pre-trial of this impeachment proceeding.
Last na po. Yung mga private prosecutor na kukunin po ninyo, allowed po ba sila to conduct cross-examination? Ano po ang nasasabi sa rules?
Well, cross-examination is allowed every after direct examination of the witness, be it a witness of the prosecution or a witness of the defense. So to your question as to whether the public prosecutors are allowed, so long as they are under the direct control and supervision of the public prosecutors, private prosecutors are allowed.
Thank you. Let us now go to Lance Mexico of Newswatch. Lance?
Hello, good afternoon po. Siguro po, first to Congresswoman Luistro or Prosecutor Luistro, may survey po na lumabas kamakailan na nagsasabi na public opinion is still yung preferred ng mga tao over evidence daw pagdating sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Sa inyo po bilang lead prosecutor, how will you convince not just the prosecutor, not just the judges, the senator judges, but also the public that there is enough reason to convict the vice president?
Evidence and public opinion are very much intertwined. If you will be able to present strong evidence, therefore you will be able to get a favorable public opinion. Both are significant for us to be able to establish the 4 articles of impeachment.
Right now po, siguro anyone can answer kung sino po yung gusto. Ano po yung biggest challenge na nakikita ng mga prosecutors sa paparating na impeachment trial? Anyone can answer po. Okay po. Sige, si Congressman Defensor.
One of the biggest challenges that we face is fake news, trolls na mali ang ikinakalat na balita, maling ebidensya ang binabarina sa utak ng ating mga kababayan. Ang fake news at trolls, dapat matigil na yan. And this impeachment is one of the biggest step that we can take for accountability to start in this country. Pero dapat ma-overcome din natin ang fake news dahil hindi natin maaabot ang katotohanan, hindi lang sa impeachment na to, but truth in everyday living kung hindi natin ma-overcome ang fake news at mga trolls na umaatake, hindi lang sa House of Representatives, but to truth itself.
Thank you, Kong. Siguro last na po on my end to Congresswoman Luistro. We are all aware po doon sa Senate leadership change nitong nakaraan. And hanggang ngayon po, medyo uncertain pa rin because 13-11 pa rin yung majority and minority. Is this something na concern po ang prosecutors? I mean, are you concerned with the current majority members or with the current lineup of senators, especially dun sa majority ay kilala naman pong kaalyado talaga ni VP Sara at ng mga Dutertes?
Well, let us all be reminded that this is a constitutional duty that the public prosecutors are trying to fulfill. So regardless of who are in the majority and who are in the minority, the 11 prosecutors will be very much obliged to help establish these 4 articles of impeachment. We wish to express also our highest respect to all the senator judges. We understand that even they are responding to their constitutional duty. So we expect that we as public prosecutors will be responding to their mandate in the same way that the senator judges will be impartial and independent in hearing and resolving these articles of impeachment as what the Constitution mandates.
Thank you, Lance. Dwight De Leon of Rappler, go ahead with your questions.
Hello po, good afternoon. Balik lang po ako kay Congressman Keith Flores. If you may just expound kung ano po yung personal political reasons for not voting in favor of, or for not, yeah, for basically not voting po sa impeachment. Given that last year, you also, if I'm not mistaken, you signed the impeachment case against the Vice President. And does it undermine the optics of the prosecution team that one of the members didn't vote in favor of impeachment?
Well, again, as I said, it's personal political reasons. No? But it's not the first time that a public prosecutor was nominated and elected in the impeachment process as a public prosecutor. No? It happened before when a public prosecutor also did not vote for the articles of impeachment but was nominated and elected by the House. Again, as I said, no, I yield to the collective wisdom of the members of the House when they elected me.
Is part of the reason, siguro po, based on consultation with constituents, did that play a role in why you didn't vote in favor of impeachment?
Well, yes, that played a factor of my decision on abstaining. But it wasn't because of the articles of impeachment at all. I could not, in good conscience, vote against the articles of impeachment because I was present all along when the Committee on Justice heard the evidence presented before.
When you say, sir, that your constituents played a role, is it because you consulted them and they had hesitations, they had reservations when it comes to the impeachment case?
Well, I think it cannot be denied that there are a lot of people in Mindanao who are actually for the Vice President. So that playing a factor, yes, that played a factor also in my considerations whether to vote or not to vote. But also as far as maybe the trust and confidence of the members of the House, maybe because I was already a member of the impeachment prosecutors in the previous year, and my familiarity with the case being a vice chairperson of the Committee on Justice, that played a role in their decision in electing me as one.
Thank you po. And one final question on my end to Kong Jinking or to any other prosecutor. Isa po sa fino-float na scenario during this impeachment conversation is yung paano kung mag-resign si Vice President Sara sa kanyang pwesto. How will that affect the trial or will that effectively abort the trial? Ano po ang posisyon ng prosecution patungkol dito?
Before I answer the question, let me just formalize the designation of Congressman Zia Jong and Congresswoman Rene Go. They are not talking heads, they are House trial spokespersons. Congressman Zia Jong and Congresswoman Rene Go. To answer your question, this is my opinion, not the opinion of the 11 prosecutors. We have to remember that there are 2 principal penalties in case the respondent in an impeachment case is convicted. These 2 principal penalties are removal and perpetual disqualification. While resignation from office will render moot and academic the penalty of removal, it is my position that we need to continue the trial for the senator judges to be able to determine whether or not they will impose as well the penalty of perpetual disqualification. But that is my opinion. We haven't talked about this as 11 prosecutors of the HREP.
But is that an opinion shared by other members of the panel, maybe Kong Shell?
Let's hear from them.
Yes, of course. That's a very valid observation made by our chair.
Sige po. Thank you po.
Thank you, Dwight. Rose Casap, UNTV is next.
Follow-up ko lang po sa issue ni VP Duterte dahil kahit minsan ay hindi po siya humarap sa pagdinig ng House Prosecution Panel. Pero kayo po, since inaasahan na po natin na magpo-proceed yung trial, ano po yung expectations niyo po sa respondent? Kong Leila.
Alalahanin po natin that this is also due process for VP Sara. So, pagkakataon niya to. So, it's time for her to face and answer the accusations against her. Kung walang kasalanan, dapat walang iniiwasan o walang dapat iwasan. Wala rin dapat pagtakpan at hindi dapat ito hinaharang. So, well, I guess I heard from the news that the councils of VP Sara will be responding to the summons by filing the appropriate answer. So, pagkakataon niya to, this is due process for her.
Regarding naman po sa pagiging lead prosecutor niyo po, Kong Jervil, bukod po dun sa kayo po yung pangunahing tatanggap ng notices and other issuances from the Senate Impeachment Court, ano po yung significance ng inyo pong posisyon as lead prosecutor?
Well, my understanding about my becoming the lead prosecutor is because I am the chairperson of the Justice Committee, which heard the impeachment complaints which were later on turned into the articles of impeachment. That was upon the hearing and all the proceeding before the Justice Committee. About my obligation as lead prosecutor, I need to support and help my colleagues, all the 10, 11 prosecutors, to be able to establish all these 4 articles of impeachment. I anticipate also that I will be delivering the opening statement as well as the closing statement. That is in my capacity as the lead prosecutor of the House of Representatives.
Alright, last on my part na lang po, Kong. Kasi po dun po sa articles of impeachment, kapansin-pansin na yung dalawang articles of impeachment, yung unexplained wealth at saka po yung misuse of confidential funds, meron pong 8 at 9 natututok na mga prosecutors. Ano pong wisdom behind that? Dahil ba yun sa bulk ng evidences or ng mga allegations dun po na nakapaloob dun sa articles of impeachment?
We should ask the lead prosecutor for these articles, Kong Terry Ridon for unexplained wealth.
Well, yung po unexplained wealth, ano po talaga ito, no? Masaklaw po talaga yung kaso po na ito. So, we will be deploying more prosecutors po for this particular aspect of the case. Kasi nakita niyo naman po in the course of the House Justice Committee proceedings, marami pong mga opisina, ahensya, at witnesses at dokumento pong pinag-uusapan dito. So, each and every prosecutor will be presenting an entirely different set of agencies, documents, and witnesses po. So, this is in comparison to the other grounds kung saan I think the evidence, for example, for threats against the president, in which you have a smaller set of evidence which basically speaks for itself, no? So mas maliit po yung bilang po ng mga prosecutors po na deployed for this particular ground.
And for confidential fund, of course, the reason why there are a lot of prosecutors compared to the other grounds is because there are more evidence, mostly documentary, which will be presented for us to be able to establish the article of confidential fund. So that is the reason why there are more prosecutors, both in unexplained wealth and in confidential fund, compared to threats and destabilization and bribery.
Sorry, just to press on that, hindi naman po ibig sabihin na mahirap patunayan yung mga allegations na yan, kaya mas maraming deployed na prosecutors.
Not necessarily. The unexplained wealth and the confidential funds evidence are mostly documentary, voluminous documentary evidence, which reason we will be needing a lot of prosecutors to help us present this article of impeachment.
Thank you, Rose. Bibian Gulia of ABS-CBN2 is now recognized.
Kong Jervil, ano po ang stand ng House Prosecution? Tingin niyo po ba makakabuti kung dadalo si Vice President Sara Duterte sa trial sa Senado sitting as an impeachment court?
I wish to add to the answer of Kong Laila a while ago. In addition to that being part of her due process, this is likewise her constitutional duty. Let us remember the mandate of transparency and accountability pronounced in the Constitution, and I think the people are waiting for her answers. So, aligned to that accountability mandate, I believe she should attend and present her defense.
Thank you, Kong Keith Flores. Ano po ang pwede naming asahan sa inyo as prosecutor? Kasi nga, you abstained. I know you mentioned some reasons earlier, pero hindi po ba sort of requirement among prosecutors na naniniwala sa articles of impeachment na kanilang dedepensahan at ipepresenta sa Senado?
That's why I said earlier that I could not in good conscience vote against the articles of impeachment because nakita naman natin yung evidence that was presented before the Committee on Justice, and it was unrefuted by the Vice President because she did not counter it at all. No? So, for me, parang it's easy. It's an easy decision. No? I'm taking on the role because not only was I elected, but because I also saw what was presented before the Committee on Justice.
Just to speak for the entirety of the panel, I don't think we have any doubt on the confidence, integrity, and expertise of Congressman Flores to take on the role of a public prosecutor. To be clear, the choice and election of the public prosecutor is based on their syempre karanasan po bilang lingkod bayan at karanasan din po bilang mga abogado. At tingin naman po namin ay competent si Congressman Flores to take on the role as a public prosecutor.
And I would like to thank Kong Terry for that.
Last na lang, Kong Jervil, paano po, how did we arrive at the decision dun sa hatian po ng articles of impeachment?
Well, of course, we consider the familiarity of the prosecutors to the article. We have to remember that for bribery and confidential fund, these were the subject matters of the investigation of the Committee on Good Government back in the 19th Congress, no? As a matter of fact, for threats and destabilization, with the permission of the concerned prosecutors, these are the same assignments that they have during the first impeachment back in 19th Congress. I am referring, of course, to our lead prosecutor, Kong Noy Defensor, and Congresswoman Bel Zamora. So, the first consideration is the familiarity to the article, and the second consideration is the choice of the public prosecutors where they wanted to be assigned.
Thank you, Bibian. Next is Isa Bendaño Mali of GMA-DCWB.
Hello po, magandang hapon po. Kanina po nabanggit po ni Senior Deputy Majority Leader Lawrence Defensor na isa sa mga hamon po sa House Prosecution Team, yung fake news, yung trolls. Pero kayo po, mga members po ng prosecution team, handa rin po ba kayo na kayo po yung magiging biktima ng fake news, ng trolls, uungkatin po yung inyong mga kasaysayan? Ano pong masasabi niyo? Thank you po.
Kung ako po ang tatanungin niyo, sanay na po ako niyan. So hindi na po uubra yan. Thank you.
Sanay na kaming lahat. Gusto lang naming magtulong-tulong tayo para mapaunawaan ang mga kapwa nating Pilipino na dapat manaig sana ang katotohanan, lalo na't pinapanood ito ng ating mga anak, ng mga pamilya araw-araw. At hindi pwedeng mali na balita ang lumalabas sa social media na nababasa at napapanood. This will be a fight for the truth as well as a fight for accountability and a fight for justice, not only in this impeachment, but also in our quest, together with the mainstream media, to seek the truth and honesty in everything that we do.
May I just add to the assignment of articles? Kong Laila de Lima is likewise assigned or included in the Team 4 Confidential Fund.
I wish to clarify. So tatlo po yung teams. I'm a member of 3 teams. The threats, unexplained wealth, and confidential funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Isa. Are you done with your questions? Okay. Linesca Panti of GMA Online. Please proceed.
Good afternoon po. For the record lang po, do you intend to present the BIR box as evidence for the impeachment trial? Tama po ba? Would that be correct?
Well, we will finalize po. Up until pre-trial, that decision will have to be made by that time. Pero that is one of the pieces of evidence kasi we had transmitted it to the Senate impeachment court, no? So we will make that final determination as to whether to unseal the BIR box.
As a follow-up na lang po, kasi we have been, I don't think there's doubt dun sa evidence given the 4 impeachment hearings, at least initially. Parang wala namang masyadong rebuttal on the quality of the evidence. But the question is, are you not worried that you will not be allowed to present evidence ultimately? Because I understand for every evidence that you want to present, you would need the approval of the Senate Impeachment Court for that. I'm just recalling our experience during the Corona impeachment trial. Are you not concerned that, like Kong Shell knows this, the second envelope happened during the Corona trial, evidence for the PAL case, PAL FASAP case, was not allowed by the Senate Impeachment Court to be presented. So do you have similar worries now that ultimately your evidence will not be allowed by the court to be, will not be allowed to be presented?
Well, that is the purpose of the pre-trial. We are supposed to submit the list of witnesses as well as the list of evidence which will be presented during the trial, presentation of the prosecution's evidence. Although I understand that if the evidence is not yet available during the pre-trial, so long as we can justify the same, it may be presented still before the impeachment court, but that will be subject to the approval, of course, of the impeachment court. Kong Noy?
Hindi kami nag-aalala na haharangin ang ebidensya naming ilalabas sa impeachment trial. Kung haharangin ang ebidensya namin, remember that we are not the ones in trial. Huhusgahan din ng bayan ang ating mga senator judges. And while we will give them utmost respect, siguradong ang pagtingin ng taong bayan sa isang impeachment court na hindi papayag na ilabas ang ebidensya ay makapagbabago ng damdamin ng mga Pilipino. Lalo na sa team ng depensa, kung hindi na kayo nagpakita, kung hindi na kayo sumipot, haharangin nyo pa din ang ebidensya. Hindi talaga maganda ito para sa isang ini-impeach na mataas na opisyal. So we're not worried. We're prepared to present our evidence. No matter what they will do, sila na ang maghusga sa amin. Igagalang namin ang ating impeachment court.
Madam Chair, may I add? Klarong-klaro naman po the decision on admissibility of evidence are made by the Senate as an impeachment court. But the discretion to present evidence kung ano pa yung ihahain namin na ebidensya ay nasa kamay ng prosecution. And the court cannot interfere with that discretion. Kaya sa simula pa lang kung gusto po namin na magtawag ng witness o kaya magpresenta ng mga dokumento, ay nasa sa prosecution po yon. Now later on, how the Senate will evaluate that evidence or whether they will admit it will be subject of course to arguments and on both sides and then a decision by the court. Wala namang pinagkaiba yan sa regular na korte.
Dagdag ko lang, sana maintindihan din ng mga kababayan natin na hindi pwedeng harangin ng teknikalidad ang procedure sa isang impeachment court. Huwag po kayong maniniwala na may mga technicalities kasi ang isang impeachment trial at isang impeachment process, sinadya ng mga sumulat ng ating konstitusyon na dapat maging maluwag ang pag-interpret ng rules of procedure para mailabas lahat ng ebidensya at matimbang ito ng husto ng ating mga senator judges at ang sarili nilang konsyensya ang maghuhusga. Wala pong dapat mabigat na ebidensya na kailangan ng proof beyond reasonable doubt, but the quantum of evidence required to convict is simply the personal assessment of each senator judge whether a high public official should be removed or may stay in public office.
Madam Chair, if I may add. Thank you. Well, with all due respect sa ating mga kagalang-galang na senador, baka hindi lang kasi masyadong naunawaan ng ibang kababayan natin. Kasi nung kumaalala, kung titignan po natin yung pagpepresenta ng ebidensya, ang pagpepresenta po ng ebidensya, hindi po lahat ng ebidensya na ipepresente ninyo ay tatanggapin talaga. Kailangan unang-una yung purpose mo, patunayan mo yung relevancy at saka yung materiality ng ebidensya. So pagka hindi tumutog, walang relevance yung ebidensya na ipepresenta mo doon sa issue, hindi po talaga yun tatanggapin ng korte. Kaya ako po naniniwala, ganito din na magiging sukatan o parameters ng ating kagalang-galang ng mga senador at hindi rin naman namin kinu-question na nung nakaraan, lalong-lalo na po, ang nag-preside po dito ay ang kagalang-galang na Senator Juan Ponce Enrile na isang mahusay po na abogado.
Thank you, kagalang-galang na Joel Chua. Thank you.
I asked the question because of what happened last Congress na very clear po yung political alliance ng ibang senator judges. That's why I ask if there are concerns na baka ultimately hindi po kayo payagan. What happens then? What is the recourse? Do you conduct a press conference? How do you, because as Congressman Jokno said, discretion po kasi ng prosecution which evidence to present.
Siguro, we don't want to respond to hypotheticals at this point, di ba? Kasi ang totoo naman po, we will have to fight for each and every piece of evidence when we reach that point, no? So, pero again, like what had been stated, we have absolute faith in our senator judges that they will look at each and every piece of evidence, each witness, based on how they appreciate po the case itself, no? So, yun po yung panghahawakan namin going to trial. So, whatever they decide on each piece of evidence, syempre, we will have to respect how they will look at it and decide ultimately.